Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. It's been a while, sort of. And today we're easing ourselves back into things with some casual dungeon crawling, followed by, I don't know, maybe more dungeon crawling. I guess we'll see how well we handle the challenges they're about to throw at us. That said, my intention is not to showcase the entire Midnight Isles DLC here. A lot of this stuff is going to get done off screen. We're really just here to grab some loot, grab some XP, help me get warmed back up, and then we'll pop back to Dresden. Try to get some more story events going. Still a ways to go before we hit Act 4. Autumn Golem. Apparently that golem is very well seasoned. Okay, massive strength, massive con, surprisingly high wisdom, freedom of movement, aura of thorny despair. Okay. Entangle 10-foot radius plus crushing despair. 37 AC. Resistance to most damage types. Double attack. High damage. A lot of general golem immunities. Oh, it's a plant. Okay. So, pretty tough, but not insurmountable.
Ask nicely.
28 damage. We've got surprise. We've also got some assorted skeletons. Three greater skeletal sharpshooters. That might actually be a problem. We'll just keep whittling for now. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, that is also a problem. Autumn Golem is almost out. Bye, Ellie. Okay, that's not too bad.
Distract them for me.
Desna, guide my hand!
And Autumn falls. Let's see him spring back from that.
Retreat is not an option.
Backline's under threat, but we've already got Zorm moving to intercept, so we'll just stay on those archers. One archer down. Could use a little help here. Thank you, helpful. Archer number 2, down but not... Okay, now he's out. But we've lost containment.
Time to share your treasures!
I'll make short work of this.
Oof, we are not having much luck with those guys. That's fine, we'll have Vex on them in a second. And here we go. That's fine. I can live with that. Ha! I think we got him.
Cover me, all right?
We should really get a better weapon for Darren. Yeah, I deserve that. Okay, one left. All right. What do we got? Amulet of Agile Fists. Boo.
Oh, skip the pleasantries.
Come on, at least tell me that... Oh, hello there. At least tell me that these sharpshooters had magic bows. Wow, not even masterwork. Gotta say, Midnight Isles, you are not blowing me away with the loot yields here. Oh, hey! Tick swarm in the connecting hallway. That is unexpected.
I like you.
These things are pretty obnoxious, so let's go full infinite arcane firepower here. Still in. They took a licking, but they're still ticking.
Kneel before me.
No, Ember, why'd you... Dang it, Ember got shuffled behind them. You're killing me. Oh, or not.
Out of my sight.
You know what? I'm not going to question that. I am clearly a tactical genius and planned all of that out in my subconscious. Minotaur. That's barely a speed bump. Also, we're apparently fatigued. Yet another trap in front of obvious charge bait. Getting a mite bit predictable there, Midnight Isles. Oh wow, the entire party's fatigued. Do we have any mass fatigue cure? I'm not sure there even is one. I mean, there must be, but I'm not sure we have one.
The struggles never cease.
Alright, whatever.
Make your peace.
Also, we've got a bard. And double conjurer. Hi. Woof. Hello. Conjurer's out.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Minotaur's out. And the bard's death has been noted. Oh, now we're talking. That is some quality vendor trash. It is a little weird because that last fight, the first one we had today, was definitely a bit tougher than this one, but the loot was so much worse. But, you know, not every encounter is created equally. Oh, this looks like a boss room. This is definitely a boss room. We've got archer platforms on the flanks. Minotaur. Let's conjure up some reinforcements.
You called?
Oh, hold on.
Don't mind me.
All right, let's do this.
I shall not be swayed from my path.
Check the stairs. Uh-huh. Necromancer. Gotcha. Using the treasure plunderer. This actually looks pretty tame for a boss fight. He said, moments before disaster. Oh, nice. I do still sometimes think about doing a full retrain on Ember, switching her off to Lightning just so we can get full use out of those bracers of the Stormlord. But I mean, she does just fine as she is, so I'm not sure it's really worth the effort. You've got Skelemen. Won't really matter once the Necro drops, though. Wait. Okay, good. He is human. But he still passed his save. Gosh, thanks. Necromancer's out. Well, hello there. Goodbye. I gotta say, I do appreciate them trying to take charge. Even if they were hopelessly outclassed. And thus it ends. It's all over but the looting. Boots of Elven Kind. +5 on mobility checks. Not the most exciting item, but we might get some use out of those. Iron Prayer. +2 Cold Iron Longsword, which gains an additional +2 to attack and +1d10 damage versus demons. So in our hands, effectively +4 versus demons, 1d8 +1d10 damage, but otherwise a mediocre +2 longsword versus everything else. And we don't really have a longsword specialist. I mean, I guess we could toss that to Ciela, though she's probably better off with Radiance. Yeah, that might just be sales fodder. Interesting that they had these giant side platforms, but didn't park all their archers there. That really felt like the obvious setup. And I guess that's it. And I've got to say, it almost felt too easy after we just spent the past few weeks working our way through the ashes. Though, to be fair, that one was getting kind of easy towards the end, too. I think it really does kind of highlight how these D20 games are at their most difficult, those first few levels. And Through the Ashes really milked that. But, I mean, once you get a few levels under your belt, once you start getting proper gear, it's a lot harder to legitimately challenge the player. Unless, of course, you start over-tuning everything, but then that comes with its own set of problems. You guys have anything new for us? Alright, well, we are fatigued, so I think we're done here for now. Let's head back to Dresden. We'll see if we can find a nice event or something to round things out with. I think what we'll do in the future, for this DLC specifically, is skip the bulk of the dungeons, but then we'll just have like a montage of the boss fights. I think those are the only ones that are really worth highlighting. Plus, they seem to be the only ones that give any unique loot, which, I mean, that's really what we're here for. Especially given that it's pretty obvious they deliberately nerfed the XP gain. That Autumn Golem, for example, only gave us like 500 experience points. No Crusade events in the queue. So I guess we'll just teleport back. Hope that something triggers on entry. Nothing. That's weird. I know we've got, like, 3, maybe 4 more companion quests that are supposed to trigger. Let's see. Okay, well, let's try resting. We have to clear the fatigue anyway.
I can't help noticing how impressive your fighting skills are. It's not just good training I can see. You've got talent. And a tactical mind, too.
Well, if we're swapping compliments, you're not a bad fighter yourself. But that does nothing to change the fact that you're a worthless, murdering scumbag, albeit a competent one.
Wow, harsh. I've got to remind you, Sela, like, half of our army is mercenaries, so maybe tone it down a notch or 3. And no events triggered, so let's check the command table. Nothing. Wow, okay. You know what? That little exchange between Greybor and Sela reminded me. We never did end up chatting up Greybor, did we? I think that's just been perpetually on my to-do list. Let's swing by the tavern. We'll chat him up, get to know him a bit better. And if we have time left over, we'll just chat with some other folks around town. Do some world building. And we're back. I swung by the market on the way here. 40,000 gold. Not bad. Greybor nods to you politely. As always, wisps of sweet smoke rise from his pipe. Can I help you, Commander? Greybor. You know, you have been working for me for a while now, so I just thought it was time for us to get to know each other a little better. Hope you don't mind? I know what you're asking. How did someone like me end up in these lands? A warrior without kith or kin, or godly blessing, or a crusader's mantle? Many have asked the same thing. I mean, I wasn't going to start there, but sure, why not? I was born in Daggermark, the city of thieves, murderers, and poisoners. I soldiered for a while, served in the infantry under J. Lord Clovesh. Didn't take too long to realize there's two types of Daggermark soldiers. There's the dumb ones who need to be bossed around. And then there's the venturous lads who use the title to do murder and extortion for hire. You can guess which ones I fell in with. I know the rules of the game, and the wealthy often called on me to solve their problems, or get a leg up on their competition. Then I got into a quarrel with an officer, and I left the service and became an independent contractor. It turns out, outside Daggermark, there's a lot fewer specialists who fit my profile. A proper assassin can get paid pretty well. The job took me all over Avestan before I came here. Well, hey, good for you. I always found working the independent sector paid better anyway. I mean, it's good to have ideals every once in a while, but that ain't gonna feed your giant murder cat. Very true. We think alike, Commander. So, you have any family? My people don't brook trade with assassins. The family I'm from are honest merchants and loyal worshippers of Torag. By now, they must think I'm dead. They'd be appalled if they found out how things really stood. The dwarf grows grim, and his strong teeth clench his pipe until it cracks. As for my other family, I got one of those too. On my travels, I met a woman, fair and kind. For her, I lay down my weapon, got a house, became a simple city dweller. We had a daughter. We lived like that for 1.5 years before the road called me back. I loved her, but that life, it was like I was being buried alive. I was ready to kill myself just to end the torturous meaninglessness. Only the road could cure me of those thoughts. But for some reason, I keep going back to that house I once lived in. To the woman I once loved. To the daughter I don't even really know, and who doesn't know me. I watch from afar. I don't have the right to return to their lives. Mora, my daughter. I don't know what she is to me. The biggest mistake of my life? Or the greatest mark I'll leave on this world? But it's not like she couldn't just travel with you, right? Greybor frowns and nods at you. Yes, but I'm not made for family life. Nor is she for life on the road. Does that mean I'm the villain? No, of course not. But, you know, I mean... So, what brings you to the World Wound? The dwarf shrugs. There's a lot of good jobs here, and not many competitors. A lot of dangerous demons, and every one of them has gobbled up someone's son, wife, or best friend. And who do they come to for vengeance? To the Crusaders? They're bound up by their orders, and they lack the necessary skills. Present company accepted, I assume? The people who hire me don't want to wait until the crusade ends, if it ever will. That's where I come in, ready to deliver targeted vengeance today, for a generous fee. So what do you think about the crusade, especially now that I'm in charge? I'd lie if I said I see much difference between myself and the Crusaders. Times now aren't like they were during the First Crusade. Nowadays, the ranks of the Crusaders are filled with fugitives, opportunists, exiled nobles, fortune hunters, and lads who just plain love carnage. Oh yeah, I'm like 4 of those things. Kaz is the other one. And all of them should thank the gods that the world wound is still open. Otherwise, they'd be busy with robbery and murder. And when they met me in the street, they'd not be wearing noble scowls, but taking off their hats and addressing me as Sir. Yeah, I mean, I've met numerous Crusaders at this point, and I can't disagree with you. Though I imagine most of them would. They have the right to their opinion, just as I do. Well, thank you, Greybor. That was fascinating. You know, you're the first among my clients to ask such questions. Yeah, it's me. I'm very inquisitive. So what's it like being a professional assassin? I mean, I kill people for a living too, but I'm more like a freelance butcher. Like any master of his craft, I can talk for hours about the subtleties of my trade and my finest work. Or would you prefer to test me yourself? No, because then I'd kill you. Really rather keep you around for a little bit longer. The only thing you shouldn't ask me about, Greybor lowers his voice to a whisper, is the invisible murder ponies. Trust me, there are things out there you're better off not even mentioning. Oh yeah, the invisible murder ponies. I may have heard a thing or two about them over the years. You never see them coming. Instead of an answer, the dwarf just presses a finger to his lips. Right. So, what would you say the most important part of being an assassin is? Greybor chuckles. The first rule of an assassin, bring the head back with you. Seriously, though, tactics and equipment are what matters. The winner isn't the strongest, but the one who strikes first, so long as that's also last. When I get a job, I don't rush into things. Let the victim know they're being hunted. Let them reinforce their guards, trust no one, and fall into paranoia. And only when the victim is exhausted, at the end of their tether, do I come in to wish them sweet dreams. It might sound funny, but believe me, no one's laughing in that room. Do you ever feel bad about killing people for money? Asking for a friend? Not at all. I've met a lot of good people, but many of them had generous prices on their heads. Everyone's a thorn in someone else's side. For some reason, folks imagine the good lads have fair right to ruin the lives of the bad ones, and not the other way around. But it's only the morals of the majority that determines who's good and who's the villain. And those morals shift every day. I've been to many different places, talked to many different people, and the morals were different everywhere. Yeah, relative morality does make the whole alignment system kind of silly. You know what? Sure, why not? Some people just have to die, and sooner the better. I'm sure we've killed more bad people than good, relatively speaking. Killing good people doesn't tend to pay very well. It's the dangerous, twisted, bloody sons of bitches who fetch the highest bounty. That's why they're my specialty. Oh, good. Well, you must value your reputation a great deal. From what I've seen, you've got like a 75% success rate. Greybor nods with dignity. Of course. In my line of work, reputation is everything. It keeps away the random fools who are looking for a fight, and the right people know I can be trusted. Anyone who has no care for their reputation is no better than a frog-eating kobold. There's no doing business with those hacks. The best you can do is use them for a job and then kill them afterwards. Whereas I, as a professional with a name, demand respect from the client. Yeah, I'll bet. So that means you must have some great stories, right? Tell me about your best job. The most difficult one was a professor at the Clockwork Cathedral in Absalom. The very existence of this wizard mechanic was a secret, and almost nobody knew his face or his name. Hunting him down was a symphony of violence and hard tactics. I had to sneak through his secret underground palace that looked like a wind-up dollhouse put together by a psychopath. No rational mind could have invented such intricate traps. And there were mechanical cutlass spiders everywhere. They nearly took 2 fingers and an ear. The professor was a dangerous bloke. Day and night he wore a deadly mechanism as a sort of armor, which made him look like an 8-legged, steam-spewing, winged monster. But I came prepared. A tomb raider from Osirion had taught me how to avoid the traps. And I opened up his armored suit with a lick-toed goblin sword. It's not even a sword, more like a giant can opener. They use them to pull fallen knights from their armor to devour later. But I digress. I tore open his armor and saw his true form. Don't ask me what it was. I'll just say it was very unexpected. The mechanic went berserk and attacked me with incredible force. It was too much for me, and I had to flee. The fool thought he'd won until he realized I'd reassembled all his traps into a giant death machine. 2 minutes after I'd escaped, his palace turned into a cloud of dust. Without his immaculate armor, my mark was sent on his merry way to... Well, I suppose he's on a plane for broken golems and music boxes. Interesting. Gotta say, Greybor, your actual character sheet does not reflect all of these things you claim you did. Then again, you'd hardly be the first adventurer to embellish their backstory. So, do you worship any gods? I'm a Calistria man myself. Though I will say, I've been giving Bast some serious consideration these past few months. It's my family's way to worship Torag, but he's not my god. Many craftsmen venerate Torag, and I consider my work a craft, but... Torag's priests also say that he abhors murder. Either way, I name another god as my patron. Norgorber, the god of dark and unlawful actions. He and I, we have an understanding. Norgorber Blackfingers is my patron. Unlike many of the other gods, he himself was once mortal, which makes him honest. His teachings are built upon the grim truths of the streets that raised me. Norgorber will not try to fool you. He will never demand that you achieve perfection. After all, everyone knows that he is not perfect himself. Countless psychopaths and other scum worship him too. Butchers who've conducted mass murder call him Father Skinsaw. Boneheaded street vermin thank the Grey Master for the bunch of coins they managed to wrest away from a passerby. And, of course, the most despicable of them all, those who praise Norgorber as the Reaper of Reputation. Those disgusting, rotten rats. Politicians. Oof. Harsh but fair, especially in a place like Daggermark. If you have any more questions, come to me. I have some experience that I'm willing to share. Well, tell me what you think about this, Greybor. What do you think about these fancy-pants new powers? The dwarf glances at his hands. They're strong and firm, and abnormally lean for his race. A nice bonus. My career is in for an upturn. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll pull off a truly mythical job. A deity or a demon lord or something of that sort. Yeah, I think that's pretty much guaranteed by the end of all this. Now here's a loaded question. What do you think about me? Do you like working for me? After some thought, the dwarf offers you a slight smile. Yes, I like you, Commander. You don't keep me from doing what I do. You don't try to preach at me, and you act with precision and competence. I respect that. Fantastic. Good answer. Hey, just out of curiosity, what'd you think about your last client? He decided to remain anonymous, but I suspect his name is Willidus. I've already struck off a few lesser demons for him, and later in Canabras, a stronger one. And in the battle for Dresden, the client insisted I kill the demon with a dagger he gave me, and tell the wretch that Willidus said hello. According to my client, one stab would be enough. But it turned out differently. The demon survived, a stain on my reputation. I don't know why he got it wrong. Simple incompetence, or did he set me up to fail? Either way, I'd love to have another chat with this Willidus. And I am sure we will. At some point. Greybor is one of the companions who's... Well, no, I guess technically the whole dragon hunt thing would be his companion quest for this chapter. So I guess that's for Act 4? We are actually getting to the point that I've never played past before, so it's getting to where I'm going to have to start guessing at some of this stuff. Bismuth, always a pleasure. Alright, folks. We're just past time, so I feel like this is a good place to call it. Obviously, we didn't make much progress story-wise, but we are at the point where we're basically just waiting for certain things to happen. But hey, we knocked out another island in the Midnight Isles. We got to know Greybor. I think that's actually the last of our companions we had to chat up. Except for the new one. We do have a new one coming out in DLC over the next couple of months. That's all the more reason for me to drag my feet a little, since I think you do recruit him in Chapter 3, or Act 3, which we're in right now. That said, it's good to be back. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll pop around town, make sure I'm not missing anything else. It is going to take a little bit of time for me to refresh my memory on exactly where we left off with everything. And we will pick up here next time. Maybe we'll knock out another couple of boss fights over at the Isles, or just hang around town and wait for something to happen. Either way, see you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, Egg, Eerie V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you would also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the Patreon, the YouTube memberships, or the Nexus GG page. Links are in the description.
But that does nothing to change the fact that you're a worthless, murdering scumbag, albeit a competent one.